You can see here just how much excess silicone they use is just hanging off to the inside right here. A lot of times it gets stuck in the pickup filter right here and plugs it up, starves the pump, and then burns the pump up just because there's so much silicone that gets knocked off in there. So you want to use a small amount of silicone through here. You don't want to just blob it on there and wipe it off on the outside because it's definitely going to get smeared all over on the inside.
Well, it just squishes on the inside just like that.
Oh yeah. Then it falls off, the chain grabs it, runs it around it a few times. Get that out of here. Okay, on the chain, guys, if you look here, we have these two purple tabs right here. These are actually identification marks. If this needed a chain in it, they would ask me, does it have 2 purple links in it, 3 purple links? They could ask me how many links actually or how wide. But usually on the 243C, these 2 links right here are the identification of the chain. If you call Transstar, they're going to ask you that question. Okay.
Well, and how many links? You should know that too still.
Oh yeah, definitely. We like to take and grab it and just pull it a little bit. And that chain is really nice. Really nice chain. Some snap rings are just tough to get off.
That's what you say about all of them.
Yeah, I fight a lot of them sometimes. Get that off. There we go. And this here, we're just going to pull this out all in one whack. Just like that. Anytime I'm going to be putting the chain back in the vehicle, if we're not putting a new chain in here, I always try to put the chain back in the exact same way it was going. I try to leave my sprockets facing the same direction. I don't flip them over because they'll go any direction. That way the wear pattern on the chain and the sprockets, it just goes back in identical. Same way here. You know, if you take this apart and clean this, same way. You don't want it, this actually won't go on any other direction, so you don't have to worry about that part. But now we do have a synchronizer ring right here, so you'd want to take the gear off and check it and make sure that that brake is working really good. How you can really tell on these is the gap between here. If this synchro ring is setting down plumb on here, then it's no good. You can see the gap right there, so that's going to tell me the clutch is really good on that ring when I take it apart. What we're going in here for is these right here, mainly to see what type of wear we have on these shift fork inserts right here. Glasses on because they look really, really thin. Yeah, they're starting to get really thin. And what you can just see, this is what moves the collar back and forth to put it in 4-wheel drive to lock the front drive shaft in, this collar here. If you notice, it's flat on this side right here, and we have the dimples on this side. This is what lets it guide itself to lock into this gear here, to lock on. If you notice, we have points here too. If you put it blunt, it would hit it and it just wouldn't go on, but these points, and this point gives it to line up to slide on real easy. You can't mess that up, pretty hard to do that, but the shift fork inserts are really thin. We're going to look at this one right here. This is the one that usually we have problems with right on. This one right here. Let's see if I can get this loose. Excuse me, guys. Don't actually remember the socket size on this, so I'm just going to have to grab one and guess. Well, that's too small. I bet that'll fit it. There you go. Made it easy. This right here is your detent spring assembly. That's why I couldn't move the fork, because it's still engaged. It's a really tough spring right here. Anytime you have to turn this to get it lined up, you'll want to take this loose too. It's got a right detent. Click, click. And so this spring's really hard to push, so it makes this really hard to turn. Now that I have that out of there, see how easy that turns? Now I can move this around and try to get that out of there a little bit better, maybe. If it's going to let me. Come on. There we go. Okay. I'm going to look at these pads here. These are really thin too. They're almost all the way through to the metal. You can just see how thin they are. You can see plumb through them. This one here too. So this basically, these will go thin and fall off, and the next thing you know, you're running metal to metal. Same way with this one here. They'll wear so thin, they'll break and fall off, and the next thing you know, you run metal to metal. For this gear here, I call it a sun gear. You want to look here, same way. See it has these points, flat on the back. That way when it comes up, you lock it in. It locks in right here. It pulls up. You want to look for any type of wear on the back sides of these teeth though too, because once this little tip right here starts getting wore, it's kind of like a Christmas tree. It gets wider at the corners right here. Once that gets wore, then it'll just jump out of gear. It has to get behind it to lock in to keep it from popping out. Plus your detent spring right here is really strong too to help it stay into gear, you know, when you're bouncing around in your four-wheel drive. So. Usually there's a little slot right here too. You can get under that and prop that off. If you look here, this seal is totally cracked. See that crack right there? Can you see that, Teresa?
I don't know if I can or not.
Now you can. Oops.
Oh, yeah, actually I can. I don't know if
There
I
you
can
go.
see it in the,
See that
oh,
crack?
Yes, I can see it
It's
now.
cracked all the way across that seal. This seal's so hard that it'll probably just break. Oh yeah, look.
Oh, yeah.
It just breaks.
It sounded crispy when you
Yeah.
did that.
So that's why it's like that. So that's why we got a good seal kit to put in there. Now this is a double-sided seal. It seals fluid from going both directions. You got to remember that, because we have no seal in the back of the tranny right here. This is going to get fluid in it. Okay. I'm going to take the planet out real quick. If I can get this snap ring off there. Come on, come on. Almost. Come out of there finally. It's stuck in, like it's stuck in the groove. Still stuck in the groove. I got two pairs of these. Let me see if this pair will grab it any better. There we go.
Scared me.
Scared me too. Of course, you have a bearing here. You want to take and clean it up really good. Make sure it's good. Look on your ring gear here. Make sure ain't no pitting, teeth falling off or broke off or anything like that. Then you have your planet here. Hey, I got dirty, Teresa. Look at that.
I know.
There was a bunch of mud daubers actually underneath this truck. Had nests made.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't see that.
If you notice, this thrust washer here has two tabs. If you notice, this thrust washer here has two tabs. Okay? But you got to remember, if you get one of these in here, this thrust washer has to have two tabs. This thrust washer does not. I've had them come in here from the factory with no tabs on this washer right here, and then you put that down in there. So the top washer does not always have to have tabs. I've seen them come in with a factory with a missing. Okay, but this bottom one right here, I've never seen them come in without tabs, because this one here, it would wobble enough in here to get, the gears would get it. So that's what keeps it stable in there and not to move around. This one here, it doesn't matter because it's centered from here, I guess. It's the only thing I can think of. But if you got 2 tab ones, put them in there with 2 tabs. Either way, just wanted to let you know. But this right down here, this is where this collar locks in to put in 4 high or 4 low, okay? It starts wearing right here. This collar does on the load side going forward. When this starts getting wore right here, this is capable of jumping out. Just like this right here. These kind of set behind 2 house roofs and lock behind it. Once the corner of the roof gets wore, it can come out. So, I mean, there's even a lot to transfer cases. You know, you want to look at your planet, make sure all your gears look good.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, bless you, Teresa. Your pins haven't been changed purple or anything like that. You don't have no wear down in here because this does lock in here too. So, kind of crazy how much stuff's just in a transfer case, huh?
Yeah,
Oh.
quite a bit.
Not no wear though. What's good, we can put the plastic inserts in there. I think clean it up, put some new seals in it, put it back together, and have a really easy fix for him. The cost won't be very much on the transfer case since the job's, we're doing a lot of things to it too. So, well, Teresa, you know we just love you to death. Thank you for recording. Miss Annie, always hanging out, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, push the notification bell, because we got a lot more coming. Have a great day.